Tony D and Little Joan with 4 movie trailers. Yeah, I'm going to jam it all into one to kind of make up for missing a video yesterday. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. We're going to take a look at Lee, starring Kate Winslet, Running on Empty, starring Jay Farrow, All My Friends Are Dead, a horror movie, and Spread, starring Harvey Keitel. Let's take a look. First up is Lee. This is in theaters on September 27th from Skydance, Sky Original, or no, it's Sky Original, not Skydance. And Lee was a famous photographer during World War II, and you could pretty much write the rest. She was a woman in a man's world and had to do that. And then she went to war and took Andy Samberg with her and took a bunch of pictures that are very famous. And, blah, blah, blah. End of war. It was all very sad. I remember that picture, actually. I'm sure she worked for Life magazine or Vogue. They said Vogue is in it. You know, it looks like one of these pseudo-dramatic documentary. It's not documentary, but it's like a dramatization of the life. And, okay, sure. You got a little bit of feminism in it. It's Kate Winslet. I don't know. I used to kind of dig these movies because I thought I was getting a history lesson. Now I feel like most of them just lie to me to add some more dramatic tension or jam in some message that probably wasn't really in there. Feel like I get more information if I look up the person myself and do my own research. But first act, I mean, it's her life. So first act, she's a photographer. She's very talented. Second act, World War II breaks out and they go to the front lines. And third act, they survive and we get a rundown of the real Lee. Lee, the directorial feature from award-winning cinematographer Ellen Kuras portrays a pivotal decade in the life of an American war correspondent and photographer Lee Miller. Miller's singular talent and unbridled tenacity resulted in some of the 20th century's most indelible images of the war, including iconic photo of Miller herself posing defiantly in Hitler's private bathtub. Miller had a profound understanding and empathy for women and the voiceless victims of war. Her images display both the fragility and ferocity of the human experience. Above all, the film shows how Miller lived her life at full throttle in pursuit of truth, for which she paid a huge personal price, forcing her to confront a traumatic and deeply buried secret from her childhood. So it sounds like there's going to be a lot of drama in this. Would I see it? Maybe. I mean, it looks fine. This is Running on Empty, starring Lucy Hale and Jay Farrow. Basically, it's the not too distant future where people can go to the doctors and find out how long they have to live. So this couple goes. I think they're thinking about getting married, and it turns out the hot blonde is going to live 60 years, but her boyfriend's only going to live another year. And so she breaks up with him. He then has to go live life. Jim Gaffigan is in it. And he goes to a prostitute, and she dies before they even have sex. And then the pimp demands money. Then he meets a real girl, falls in love with her, but the pimp won't leave him alone. He doesn't have the money. And so he's got to save her before he dies and live his life. So I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to end with him finding out he's not going to die, but who knows? So first act, he's a mortician. He's got a smoking hot girlfriend, but he finds out through this new technology that there's Jim Gaffigan, his friend. He finds out through the new technology he's going to die in a year. His girlfriend's going to live. So she dumps him. He ends up in a strip club with his friend, Jay, played by Jay Farrow. He ends up hiring a prostitute because she's super hot. She dies before they have sex for some reason. And then the pimp comes after him, gives him an ultimatum. He goes to a dating service where they still videotape the customers. Tries to join it, ends up falling in love with the woman who runs it. They start a romance, but the pimp won't leave him alone. He eventually threatens the girl, and then he's forced to confront the pimp and fight him. Does he die or does he live? I think he lives, because it's a kind of a quirky comedy movie about a mortician. All right, let's take a look at that. Running on Empty. Watch the trailer now in select theaters August 9th. That's about it in the list of the cast. So it looks all right, I guess. Maybe I'd see it. All My Friends Are Dead. This is a slasher movie about influencers, and they're all in a house, and of course, one by one, they're brutally murdered by a guy who also uses social media, and he kills them in various ways, and you can pretty much write the rest. In select theaters, digital and demand, August 2nd. I mean, it's a modern day slasher movie. It looks fine. You know, if you like slasher movies. It's just probably going to be gross and stupid, in my view. And it looks pretty gross and stupid. There's the murderer there. So first act, there's a bunch of influencers. Second act, the murderer shows up, starts killing them one by one, and the in this house or wherever they're trapped, one by one they die. In the third act, they turn the tables on the killer and expose who he is. Pretty boring. Wouldn't go see it. Finally, there's Spread, starring Harvey Keitel of all people, but it really doesn't focus on him. It's about a woman who loses her job and her boyfriend at the same time. It feels like a TV show, but I think it's a movie. I'm not sure. So she takes the first job offered to her, and it turns out it's at a porno magazine run by Frank, who's played by Harvey Keitel. And there's a bunch of wacky moments with the porn stars, and she's trying to run the office, and there's sleazy guys who say sleazy things. And eventually she brings the porn magazine into the modern age, and there's jokes about foot fetish things, and it's a to-be original. So there's going to be hot chicks. I can't tell if it's a TV show. It feels more like a TV show than a movie. Would I watch it? Maybe. And what's the name from the Drew Carey show? Oh, God. What the hell's his name? Guy who plays the guy. He's also in Office Space. He's the guy who wants to do two chicks at once. That guy. I can't think of his name. I want to say Edward something, but I don't think it's Edward. He's in it, too, as her dad. And he's... Oh, yeah, there he is. Dietrich Bader, I think his name is, something like that. And he plays the dad, and he's overjoyed his daughter is working at Spread magazine, and he keeps showing off at the office because he loves the magazine. So that's kind of funny, I gotta say. So, yeah, I think it could work. I don't think it's a movie, though. It feels like a TV show, but it doesn't even say. Would I watch it? Yeah, I guess I'd watch it. And it's a Tubi original, so whether it's a movie or a TV show, it's free. That's not bad. I think it could be kind of funny. This shouldn't be, if this is a movie, it shouldn't be a second over 90 minutes. Not a second. Maybe a little shorter. All right, so now I'm going to rank these. So we got Lee, the dramatization, Running on Empty, All My Friends Are Dead, and Spread. What would I put at the bottom of that? I guess I would have to put All My Friends Are Dead. It just looks boring and usual slasher stuff. I don't really like these movies. Then number 3, I'd put Lee, because it kind of looks boring and the same. I mean, it's a true story, I guess, but I don't trust these things anymore. And then number 2, Running on Empty. Might get some laughs out of it. Lucy Hale, Jay Farrow. And at number 1, I'd watch Spread. with Harvey Keitel and Dietrich Bader, I think the name is. That doesn't look bad. There's hot chicks in it, some jokes. Okay. Yeah, you got me. All right. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check me out. Thanks to all came out, by the way, to the Margaret Dombrowski's Swedesboro Public Library. That happened at 6:30 tonight, and had a good talk. Had a lot of people came and sold some books. Tomorrow, I'm going to be at a podcast, so look for my tweets and social media. I'll send the link around. That starts at 7:30, and I can't remember the name of the podcast, but I'll tweet it out tomorrow, and I'll be talking about it in my videos. So that starts at 7:30, so don't miss that. I hope Trump doesn't do a speech then, but either way, you could hear it later. I'll be talking about the Jersey Devil and probably a bunch of other things, so that'll be fun. Hope to see you there. We'll see you